Call me delusional, but I always think there is a chance because it was such a high-level grand finals. And that's a scary thing to see as an Indonesian supporter here.
Yeah, the PH teams was pretty scary, but Onic ID definitely have what it takes to be there, to maybe even beat some of these teams. I think we have a very scary RRQ coming to MSC. Do you think we're optimistic about our chances in MSC later on? Up against TLPH, against Onic Philippines, do we have what it takes to beat them? Do we have what it takes to be competitive? And our expectations for MSC? You want to go start first?
Sure. I think, call me delusional, but I always think there is a chance.
Yeah.
Now, how big of a chance is a different situation here. I feel like it's decent, but it's definitely not like super high. Considering the fact that, like, obviously, PH right now, that grand finals was crazy, and they highlighted not just like, oh, the PH players are crazy, but also the decision making and all that, the synergy. I feel like they, considering the competition, because it was such a high level grand finals, they saw a lot of different like aspects of both teams kind of highlighted, and that's a scary thing to see as an Indonesian supporter here, because I feel like maybe due to the fact that we just don't have that intense of a competition, this is like the closest it's been, and even then, it's still somewhat. You still somewhat have an idea, right? And even when teams, let's say like Evo's out of nowhere, surprisingly didn't make it to the playoffs, it's not because like, dang, so out of nowhere, Altrigo just went crazy. Yeah. Oh, it's out of nowhere, these teams just outperformed. Like, no, we can very clearly see the mistakes coming in from Evos and some of these other teams in Indo. So the fact that the top tier teams aren't pushing each other out, people are just kind of skidding on their own out of the race. That's a scary thing to say compared to PH. So I feel like we have a lower chance. Let's put it that way. I think it's possible, but it's definitely not all that high. But hopefully, you know, with a pretty competitive grand finals, all 7 games, if they train a bit more, you know, again, higher level competition, more weaknesses get exposed. Maybe if they see these weaknesses now, these factors now, the draft, the game plans, if they can fix some of that now, improve more, I think it's still gonna be an interesting, an eventful performance by Indonesia in EWC. But I'm not gonna go out and say like, oh yeah, they're gonna win everything, you know. Not because I'm afraid of the backlash, you know. That's not it. It's just like objectively speaking here.
Yeah, I think for me, it's quite similar. I think for Onic, I think we have a shot. Like, Onic are giving me vibes that, again, they are back to their prime again, and they probably can go up toe-to-toe against TLPH and Onic Philippines. Even though it's going to be tough, again, because these two teams are definitely the stronger teams now on paper, if we take a look at, you know, the track record as well. Mm-hmm. But Onic ID definitely have what it takes to be there, to maybe even beat some of these teams. For RRQ, it really depends on what version of RRQ are we getting? You know, are we getting finally a version that has let go of trying to prove prove to other people that they are not Dyron and EDOC centric, that Rins is just as good as Sans mechanically, stuff like that. If they feel like they are enough and they finally feel like they've identified those problems, identified their strong points, and can play to their strong points, I think we have a very scary RRQ coming to MSC.
The question for me is like, so there's going to be 2 Onics and 3 Onics in AWC. So
with female, yeah.
So where does Yeb stand?
Yeb will be Onic ID.
So he's going to be fully with Onic ID.
He'll be coaching Onic ID.
I mean, I just find that like to be such an interesting situation to be in. Like, man, that has to be like complicated, man, honestly. But you know, it's Yeb. He does things that he jumped from coach to VP, you know. Right. So things that are unusual, I think it's beneath Yeb's level, man. He just does it. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
I think RQ has shown glimpses, so many glimpses of how good they can be. Again, it really comes down to how they improve from this point on. And I really hope, my expectation for RQ is losing your second grand final in what? 3rd time in a row, actually, because SPS MM, it was also them. So their 3rd grand finals in a row, I think should be good for them in a way.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, fuck, we're still not enough. We gotta keep on improving. I just hope the hunger doesn't disappear. I hope they don't get demoralized by the 3 losses. Yeah. I hope this fuels them up even more. That's what I expect. Again, for Keskid, for NMM, for these players, I know they've they got that hunger, especially Dyron. He's never won. Even MDL, he lost in the grand final. So Dyron's on a fucking hot streak of losing grand finals.
With insane performances.
I love Dyron. He's my favorite player on RRQ. Right now, it was Skylar before, but now it's Dyron. Dyron, you gotta win it, all right, buddy? All right, my goat.
Let's go.
But yeah. So yes, I think we do have a shot. I think we are pretty good as well, even though, yeah, the PH teams was pretty scary. I'm gonna be, all right, DFYG gonna win everything. Super Ken. BTR, by the way.